We're back. You hear that music? That means we're back. Hello, everybody. I know my voice is kind of weird today. I don't know what the deal is, and that's off my phone. I got to turn that down. Oh, is that your phone, Deb?
I didn't want to say anything. I just turned the volume down. I was going to let you take the blame.
That's all right. I'll take the blame. Welcome to Skip Happens. That's what it's all about, my friend. Skip Happens. And we got another great podcast for you tonight. You know, when Deb and I come on, and by the way, that's Deb right up there. She is the president and founder of the official country music fan club, working here in the Northeast. Also spends a lot of time in Nashville. My name is Skip Clark, of course, the host, and also the program director and afternoon personality at 92.1 The Wolf right here in Syracuse. And our guest tonight, I love this. And I was telling her before we went live with the cameras and the mic, she's got a song out called Timber. And I just kept playing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Awesome.
And because it's that good.
Mm-hmm.
You get a radio guy that says that, it's good. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is with Skip Happens right here live. It's Lindsey Lane, everybody. Hi, Lindsey. How are you?
You know what? My toes are a little cold, but I'm doing good.
Now, describe, where are you, and describe your surroundings a little bit.
I'm in Texas, and so there's snow everywhere.
I was gonna.
And we have power, but just in case it does go out, I brought some candles so I can give us some mood lighting.
I love it. Whereabouts in Texas exactly are you?
Amarillo, but that's so the shape of Texas. It's where the square is.
Okay.
Right up towards the top of the square.
Yeah, right there. Got it. Yeah. I have a niece in Houston. She was sending.
It's about 14 hours.
Yeah, but she's sending pictures of the snow and something that hasn't happened there in over 100 years. And
there was snow on the beach.
Wow, that's got to be. I've never seen snow on the beach.
Yeah, I only saw it in pictures, but so I'm assuming it's real. I don't know.
We see snow every day, but we don't see it on a beach. So,
right.
Yeah. Well, we don't really see a beach here either. You know. We have lakes with some small beaches, but
see, we have no water in my part of Texas. It is flat. There's no trees.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know why we're here.
I love this. Tell us a little bit about you, Lindsey. How long have you been playing music? Give us a little bit of a background.
Okay, so full time, I've only been doing music since May of 2019. I taught third grade math from 2014 to 2019, and I did music during that time as well, but I was limited to just the weekends, really. And then it just got to the point where it was every weekend I was doing music, and then of course teaching school, and I said I gotta figure something out. And so I decided to leave teaching with the idea that I can always go back to it versus, music's a little fickle in the age department. So I was like, if I'm going to try this, I got to do it now. And so I left in May of 2019, and then, COVID hit, and it's just been a wild ride.
Mm-hmm. Do you teach at all? I mean, just because of COVID, have you done anything part-time or tutored or anything like that?
No, nothing. Yeah. I left. I cut
That's
that.
Okay. Like you said, you can always go back. Yeah,
I can. So I did 13
But sometimes
wow.
That's the way you have to do it, though, when you want to start something, or it's like when you want to get rid of a habit, it's cold turkey. Got to get
right
out there and do it.
Yeah.
So because
I don't.
No, go ahead.
I'm just drinking Coke.
A little bit of delay, so we're cutting each other off here a little bit. I'll slow down just a little bit so that does not happen. But so you taught third grade math, and so how long were you doing that before you quit? How long were you actually teaching?
5 years total.
Okay.
Yeah, I went ahead and finished out the year. I knew in December of 2018 that's when I gave my notice and said I was done. But I went ahead and finished out the year because in Texas, we have our standardized testing, and it starts in third grade. And so I told them I'd stick it through to the end of the year. But
why? What a change, though, to go. It's like just cutting it right off. I have a daughter that's a teacher, so I know that the education, you probably did you get your master's? Did you go through all that?
No, actually, Texas, you don't have to have your master's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, very cool then. All right, I got you. But your dream was music, and you picked up an instrument. You started singing. You put a band together. Is that all that true?
Partially. I taught myself how to play the guitar in college.
Okay.
I don't know. My husband, my boyfriend at the time, was deployed, and so I had nothing to do, I suppose. So I taught myself how to play the guitar, and then the year I started teaching, my dad, he was in a whole bunch of like bar bands growing up and stuff. And he had recently moved back to Amarillo and decided to start a band. And so he was like, Lindsey, like, come play with us. It'll be fun. It's just like a party thing. And I was like, okay, had no idea what I was doing. But so I started with his band, and then I kind of delved into the world of songwriting, and I told him that I wanted to do some of my original stuff, and he was not happy about that at all. And so then I was like, well, then I'm going to try to do this on my own. And so I left his band and kind of in a roundabout way started my own. So.
Wow. So how would you describe your style of music?
See, I like a box of chocolates. You just really never know what you're going to get. Every time I sit down and try to like fit it into a genre, it just doesn't quite fit into that box, no matter which one I try to squeeze it into. It's just kind of its own thing. So
I like
eclectic.
Yeah, no, that's nothing wrong.
Country eclectic. I don't know.
It's good to be different.
Yeah, definitely good to be different. There's no doubt about that. Would you say you're like, I know Texas country, they have their own chart, they do their own thing, as well as eventually it kind of reaches Nashville, so to speak, and it kind of all comes together. But so you probably, it's Texas country because of where you are and what you're doing.
So you would think that, and I pushed a few songs to the Texas country market, and they did okay, nothing crazy, but it still didn't fit the Texas country scene. Wow. So that's when I kind of left, and I was like, well, let me try this instead, and we'll see how this goes. But I don't know. Texas country it's everything. Well, kind of sounds the same. It's very like Southern rockish with Texas flair. But then recently, like our Texas country station, what they've been playing almost sounds, I don't know. There was one song on there that sounded kind of reggae, and I was a little bit confused, but I don't know. I think it's evolving too, but I don't know which direction it's going. Yeah,
well, music is doing that all the way around now. If you listen to the new John Party song, he's got the horns in the background. That's something he's never done before.
Right.
A lot of fiddle and really, he's hardcore country, and it's awesome stuff. Now with the new single, Tequila Little Time, of course, he's incorporated the horns. So that's something different. So
yeah, I like it when there's a surprise instrument in there.
Yeah. So you made the trip to Nashville. I mean, you obviously got involved with our friends at Grassroots, and we love them. And by the way, they just got a huge award.
Yeah, I saw that they just posted today about it.
Yes. And we're going to be partying tomorrow night.
I'll be there.
You will? I'll see you.
I'm really excited.
That's good. Even though it's going to be like this, it's going to be a good time. So
yeah,
always.
I got my little karaoke microphone.
I love it. I love it.
You won't see me doing any karaoke.
No, I'm not doing it either, Deb. I'm going to be watching. Okay. She's a professional. We are not. I'll stick.
Oh, but see, when I do karaoke, I do it like karaoke should be done, not professionally. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Do you
gotta have a sing along song for karaoke?
Right. Do you have a go-to when you do karaoke?
Well, it usually just depends, but recently it's David Allan Coe's Perfect Country Western song.
Nice.
Yeah, it gets the party people going.
Yes, and that's hardcore country. That's definitely some good stuff. You gotta love that. So tell us a little bit more. Tell Deb and I and everybody watching a little bit more about your music. I know you said you've only been playing a few years, and already you've turned a lot of heads, and all in a good way. Because like I said, we listened to Timber, which is your most recent, I believe. And but you've had a couple leading up to that. Tell us about, your journey through those singles.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because I feel like I just write whatever I'm feeling at the moment. And so sometimes, which unfortunately, a lot of the times it sounds like it's pretty sad, and which is kind of ironic because I'm genuinely a very upbeat, happy person, especially on stage. But most of my originals are pretty slow and really cumbersome. So that's interesting to me. But it's usually whatever's going around, like in my life at the moment, or my friends' lives. I'll write from their perspectives and stuff like that. And unfortunately, with the times that we're in, a lot of it's just not very happy-go-lucky.
Oh, that's true, but you got to make it happy. And you have to put that twist on it. It can't all be negative. I don't think so.
Right. No. And not all of my stuff is, but I don't know. It stems for a lot of them are stemmed from true stories, but some of them are made up characters in my brain, which probably means I need to see some sort of psychiatrist.
No, that means you're going to be a kick-ass songwriter. That's good.
Woohoo!
Yeah, exactly.
What surprises me is you started so late in life and you had a whole nother career. Yes. And I was a math major in college, so my brain is not creative. So you've taken your, a black and white side, because math is just all, this is the way it's got to be done. And you've taken a complete twist on life in such a short time and gone creative. And not only that, to teach yourself the instrument and then to figure out how to write a song. I mean, to me, that just blows my mind. So you have to have a hidden talent in there that you didn't even know about.
There's got to be something in there. I'm not which third grade math is definitely a lot different than majoring in math. And the way you have to teach the third graders, it all has to be super interactive. And so there's games and all sorts of stuff that are going into it. So I think there was always that kind of creative aspect.
Oh, that is true.
So I think that's where it probably stemmed from, because I'll even use some of those like techniques that I used to teach third graders to get like crowds involved with the show. Like I have out free stickers.
That's cool.
And adults still love free stickers.
Everybody counts your stickers. Who has 3? We need 3. I love it. No, that's all right. That's all right. You put it all together, and having that type of career, you can always go back on that if, this doesn't work out for whatever reason down the road. But right now, I don't see that happening. I see you going places, and you're going after your dream. I know you said your husband served and he was deployed. First of all, thank him for his service. That's pretty cool. I got the flag right behind me, and it's because of people like him that we can do exactly what we're doing here tonight. So just what branch was he in?
He was, I always struggle with this question because anytime anybody asks, I always get corrected no matter which way I go, but he served in the Marine Corps. Okay. Now, usually if I'm like, oh, well, he was a Marine, they'll say, oh, once a Marine, always a Marine. But then if I say, oh, he is a Marine, they'll say, oh, well, where is he stationed? And I'm like, well, I don't know, guys. I don't know what you want me to say. But yeah, he served in the Marines, and we've been together since we were 13. So.
Oh, God bless you. That's awesome.
Long time.
Wow.
You were like teenage sweethearts. Go ahead.
Yes, junior high.
Yep.
I was just asking, did you get to go overseas with him and travel anywhere?
No. I went to college and he went into the Marines. So we weren't broken up, but we were separated for that amount of time. So I would go see him on like spring breaks and stuff, but he deployed twice to Afghanistan. So, but yeah.
You didn't get to go there.
No, which was fine, but
I'm sure.
The difference between his first deployment and second deployment were like drastically crazy because it was the same spot he was going to, but the first time he deployed, he could only call like maybe once every couple months. But like if you miss that phone call, I mean, you miss it. You can't call it back. So I distinctly remember walking back to the dorms from class one day, and I had my phone on silent because I was in class. Didn't turn it back on, and I go to pull my phone out, and it just then the phone had stopped ringing, and I hit the floor all dramatic. And I was like, oh my gosh, I missed it. I hadn't talked to him in months, I didn't even know if he was okay. Yeah. So, but then the second time he deployed, he had Wi-Fi, so he could send me like the iMessages and stuff like that because he had Wi-Fi.
So you never did get to talk to him again after that first missed call? Did he try to call back at all?
Not until like a couple months later after that.
Really?
Yeah.
See, there's a song in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, somewhere, another sad song.
Oh my gosh.
But it'll turn out to be a good song because obviously he's home safe and
He is.
Absolutely. What did he?
And those military homecomings are the best. Like if you ever get a chance to witness those in person, they're phenomenal. They're great.
Deb and I were really not that far from Fort Drum. Maybe just about a little over an hour north of Syracuse. And, the 10th Mountain Division is always going in and out of there. And they're doing a lot of different things. So we know, and I know I have seen some of those events when they come home and stuff like that. It's just the coolest thing. I get goosebumps talking.
Yeah, it's the best. We had his first homecoming, I think it was around 10 a.m., but you had to be on base by 4 a.m. And so I stayed up all night because I couldn't sleep. And then the second time he came home, his flight got delayed and he ended up showing up at 3:30 in the morning. And so you had to be on base at 11 p.m. and you're just waiting till 3:30. It's crazy. So you're emotionally spent. So it's already just why.
That's crazy. The excitement. How could you sleep? How could you? It's waiting for somebody you love and somebody you can't wait to see again, and waiting for that moment to be in each other's arms. I mean, how could you wait? And thank God he's home safe. And here we are.
There's the happy song right there.
That's the
happy part of the song.
Yep.
How does he feel about your career change?
He supports it. And the funny thing is, when he asked for my hand in marriage, apparently my dad, and this was before I'd even started playing with my dad's band, before I'd even thought about a career in music, he sat him down and he said, well, she's going to want to pursue music eventually, and you have to support that. And so Brian was like, yeah, I will. And so it's like my dad knew before he even knew, and it's just kind of crazy.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
So he's super supportive.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. What I see my niece, Jennifer, she's the one in Houston, and I just responded, hi, Jen, but she's the one that was sending the pictures. They had no power. She was sending pictures of the snow. It was like a dusting on her driveway and yard, and everything was shut down. It was kind of crazy, but I mean, they're all safe, and they finally got their power back, I believe. So that's all good. Good. So tell us about Timber. Tell us about the song that I was listening to over and over and over and over and over again. I mean,
absolutely.
It's just one of your fictional characters or a friend of yours? How did all that come about?
I would say it's mostly fictional. However, the way it kind of started, I actually wanted it to be a duet to begin with. And this before I wrote the verses, it was just the chorus. And I was traveling back and forth, and I was just trying to come up with a line that kind of was a play on words, what's something that people say, and we can switch it around. And so that's when, somebody yelled timber, and I was like, oh, well, what happened? So then I was thinking like heartbreak, that kind of stuff. But when I perform it live, since it is such an emotional song, I have to pull from the depths of the saddest moments in my life in order to convey that just heartfelt brokenness, I suppose. And so, unfortunately, the darkest spot in my life in 2016, I attempted suicide. Yeah. And so that's every time, especially when I sing the part about something about being on the floor. I should know the words by this, but if I'm not singing, I can't think of them.
I'm going to come right back to you, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. So in that moment, I was on the floor and I had the gun in my hand, and it was really like a broken relationship with myself. And so a lot of times when I sing it, I picture myself in that moment, and then it's kind of a therapeutic thing for me, because I often wonder if I didn't have this song to get me through, because it's not depression isn't something that just magically goes away, but this is something that not only helps me reflect back on that time, but also be thankful for how far I've come from that moment, and gives me hope to keep going. So
yes,
it's my therapy song.
No, absolutely. And I totally get it. Depression can be a very, very dangerous thing.
And it's sneaky. You think you're doing great, it's sneaky.
I've been there, my friend. So you and I mean, we have something in common here. So I'm just saying, but life is great now, and we have something to go for and reach for, and we've got loved ones. And if you could just, if you weren't here, you would have been hurting somebody, and it just snowballs from there. And it's just, life couldn't be better. So just
absolutely
keep smiling and don't ever look back. Don't ever.
No. Mm-mm.
Wow. I see a note there from my niece. Power is not back yet. Rolling back hours. Rolling black. Oh, whatever she's saying. Rolling black hours.
It's out. So like the energy company is scheduling blackouts across Texas. Okay. Which is funny because if you're scheduling them, I feel like they should be able to say, hey, this grid is going down at this time and it's going to affect this area. But they don't do that. It's kind of just like, your neighbor calls and says, hey, ours just went out. And so then you run and try to get everything plugged in and charged before yours goes out.
What about the heat? What's the temperature like there right now?
Hold on, I'll tell you. Yesterday it was -17. So
that's worse than us.
That was the wind chill, and it's always windy here because there's no trees. I think it says it's 9 with a wind chill of -4.
Oh my! Skip, we're gonna have to start inviting people to Syracuse because it's warmer here than it is in the southeast.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean,
we always tell people.
Yeah, we had a whopping 24 degrees today.
Wow, you're so warm. I could wear my swimsuit there.
Yeah, I know. I went out. I just wore my short sleeve shirt when I went out for lunch today. I'm not kidding. I just ran out to my car and I ran to where I needed.
Oh my God, it's not that warm outside.
No, but you know what I'm saying. It wasn't that. It was cold, but it wasn't that bitter cold. And here in the Northeast, we had a beautiful sunny day, but it was just cold in the way temperatures. So when the sun radiates through the windows and all that, you feel that warmth. So.
Oh yeah. My office is like a sweatbox.
We're not here to talk weather. We're here to talk music. And how did you get involved with Grassroots?
I actually just sent them an email. I had the Texas radio DJ here. I asked for a list of promoters. And so he sent me over a list and he actually he ranked them and best to, hey, if you're going to use these, call me first, because they had Grassroots on the top and I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough to reach that high, but I mean, what the worst that could happen is somebody says no. So I was like, so I email and I'm like, this is what I want to do. Here's the song I want to release. This isn't the mastered version, and I sent it over. And then within like an hour, I got an email back from Nancy and she was like, I love it. Let's do it. And I was like, just so excited. Like, they want to work with me.
I don't know how much you know about them, but their husbands are musicians and they played back in the day. I think the band was Blue County and they had a song called Good Girls, I think. And it was just, it rocked. I thought it rocked, but eventually they went on and did their own thing. I think they were actually Air Force pilots, or I think they were 16s or something. So anyways, that was a long time ago, but that's how I got to know Nancy through all that and, with the band and her husband and all that good stuff. But they put this Grassroots together. They got some of the best people working for them. They know what music is. They know, they're not just anybody off the street trying to run a promotions company.
Right.
They're actively involved in the music and actively involved in the musicians. And they know what you're thinking and where you're coming from. And believe it or not, they know what your dream is. And they're going to do everything they possibly can to help you fulfill that dream. If it doesn't,
they've been absolutely amazing to work with. I get emails every day, phone calls. I could call them and say, hey, I don't know what this means. And no matter how stupid the question is, they're like, okay, we're going to help you.
No, exactly. And RJ and I are very good friends. We worked together in radio for a long time. So it's a pretty cool thing. And
he's in New York, right? Is that right?
What's that?
Is he in New York?
He's in New York. He's Rochester.
That's right.
And I think he usually watches these, or he'll call me, the next day and go, hey, I saw you talking to our artist and it was great. It was this, it was that, and, stuff like that. So it's a good thing. And make sure you tell Nancy that you love Skip Happens. I'm just saying.
Okay, I will.
We love them. They've helped Deb and I out an awful lot here with the podcast. We take the extra step to get the artist on and get them out.
I appreciate it.
People can see. I know I'm
good people.
Yep. I look at Deb when we do this, and Deb and I met many years ago now, and we became best friends. But she has a passion and a dedication for country music, and her knowledge of the artist and what they do is just phenomenal. And she's not involved in radio, so she's put together the Country Music Fan Club.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we do shows. We bring the artist in. Well, we used to.
Right, we used to.
And we hope to do this again. And Debbie,
Yes.
explain what we do.
No, it's great. And this would be a great example. If you can come through and you're on a radio tour, you'd stop by the station. Skip would get you in there. They'd be doing an interview, get you on the radio. And then we usually will put together a showcase.
Ooh,
And Skip with his radio expertise. And I've got the Country Music Fan Club. Between the two of us, we get our folks together. And it works out great because we get to bring new artists to Syracuse, which...
yeah.
You know, the fans here, you get to meet new fans, and fans get to meet a new artist, and we just have a good time with it. So make sure Skip knows when you're doing your radio tour next.
I will. Yeah, that's my favorite, is meeting new people. And through this, it's just hard.
You know, but
Yeah.
if we didn't have this,
Right.
be screwed right now. How would you as an artist be able to get out there? How would you be able, well, of course you could put your music online, but to put a face to the music is a big plus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I guess I would print off headshots and mail them. Mailers.
That's right. But this way you're actually getting personal with people too, because we are having just a conversation. We get to see your real personality, which is great. We have a lot of people that go back and view the interviews on Skip's YouTube channel, or they'll just go back and listen to it on our Facebook page or something. And I really think that fans get to feel they're just really involved in being a part of the country music scene or the music scene, being a part of the artist's life. It really works out great.
Yeah,
so
I love it. Yeah, I'm glad that we do have this, or else we'd be SOL.
Shit out of luck. I'm just saying, you know me, I don't hold back. Twice it happens. It's all about Skip Happens. But so when everything shut down last March, give or take a little bit, it shut you down from performing, from getting out there. How did you, between then and now, did you do the Facebook shows? Were you doing other things online? I know you said you just started a podcast. What did you do?
Well, we were actually only out for about a month. So I would say St. Patrick's Day was our last show. And then we came back Cinco de Mayo, and it didn't slow down after that. So we really had about a month. So we really we took that month to just rethink and reground ourselves. And I did do a few Facebook Lives. We did a couple of those. And then we just focused on the music for this upcoming album. And we just used that time to figure our lives out for a second. It took a little
I thought you were down longer than that. I know in New York, it's, we shut down.
Right.
That was it.
Right. Completely. No. Our town, I think we had a 2-week hard shutdown. And then, we have a bunch of farmers and ranchers, and they're like, we got stuff to do. And so they just, we're just going to do whatever we want to do, which was really great for us, because then they're like, hey, we're going to go have a beer and we want to watch some live music. And so these little mom and pop restaurants were like, we gotcha. So we just everybody just kind of started doing whatever they wanted to do, which probably wasn't the best idea, but it's worked out. So.
And everybody, you're all okay, right? I mean,
I actually got COVID in October.
Okay.
Yeah. And I personally, of course, I know it's affecting everybody differently, but for me, strep throat was 1,000,000 times worse than what I experienced. And we only got tested because I felt like just allergies. I could still breathe. I could still talk. Everything was fine, to the point where if this stuff hadn't been going on, we still would have gone and played our show, because we had a show that night.
Right.
Okay. And I said, well, let's get tested, because I don't want to put, this venue in jeopardy. And so we went and got tested. Sure enough, it was COVID. And I was like, this is unbelievable. And I just lost my taste and my smell. I think I ran a fever one day. And then I took vitamin D, zinc, a multivitamin, and then there was like a baby Tylenol that apparently helps with like your blood thinning.
Yeah.
But, and I'll be honest too, in that first week, my husband and I had a non-refundable trip to Utah. We had like an Airbnb in the woods, and I was like, you know what? We're going to be by ourselves. Let's just drive up there. Yeah. So we changed elevations, and I hiked mountains and was fine the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just you guys, and your husband ended up being okay too.
Yeah. He never got it.
See, that kind of makes me wonder sometimes. Yeah. I mean, obviously you two are together. And if you have it, how can he not get it?
We don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm going like this too. I don't. There's a lot of questions that nobody has answers to.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, and I think that's why it's being taken so seriously is for that reason, just because no one knows what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now that you had it, can I ask? I don't know if you don't have to answer this if you do not want to, but are you going to get the vaccine?
No, I don't think so, because I never even got the flu vaccine.
Okay.
So I don't think I will.
Yeah, everybody's got their own feeling. I just thought you didn't have
I'm not against it, but I'm just, after I've had it.
Yeah, I see. Then I have the question, if you get the vaccine, can you still carry it and spread it to others? It's just that you don't get sick?
I feel like that would be a high probability.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of
I don't know the answer, but I don't see myself getting it.
See, I personally don't want to get it. My only concern is, are they going to say, well, you can't get on this airline without your vaccine. You can't get into this venue and see this show without the vaccine.
And that could definitely be a possibility. But, the airlines took such a huge hit, as well as venues, that I don't think they're going to for that, because they need people.
I think they'll make us sign when we get our tickets, there's going to be a waiver, is what I think.
And I'll sign a waiver saying, if I get it, you're not liable.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, seriously, we could get the flu, we could get a cold, we could get something other thing.
And I've had the flu before, and it, again, was way worse than what I experienced with COVID. So,
well,
it's a tough call.
Yeah, everybody handles it differently. Talk about your album a little bit. Let's get back to the music. I know we're all over the place with the podcast.
We are.
That's
right.
But it's cool because we find out so much. Now, tell us a little bit about the album.
Well, hopefully it will release late April, early May. I'm trying to find a weekend I have free to do an album release party, because for some reason, while I'm doing all my bookings, I totally just forgot about it. And so now I've booked over all these weekends, and I'm like, oh, we got to release this album, guys. I totally forgot. But it's been really recorded since November of 2018. And then I was like, I'm only going to release a single at a time. And then COVID hit, and I was like, I don't know. I don't want to release the whole album and it get like lost in translation, and so we kind of pushed it back. So hopefully it'll be ready by late April, early May. It's ready. It's just all of the little things, preparing it.
Maybe you could take one of your gigs and make it into your album release party.
And I've thought about it, but a lot of the gigs we're playing right now are they're small venues.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, which, I mean, it could work, but if the venue's fine with it, I'm fine.
Yeah, but, you want to fill the venue. It's going to be a celebration. It's going to be a party.
Oh, yeah, it'll be full.
Can't have any restrictions during that time.
Right. No. So we talked about waiting till it warmed up so we could do it outside and have more people without getting shut down by anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun?
I play with my dogs.
Okay.
And let's see. It used to be music is what I did for fun. And then I left teaching, and music's what I do. And now it's everything I do. So, I mean, I hang out with my friends and my family.
Cool. Now, is your family there with you? Are they close by? Are you like what you consider home? This is home for you?
Yeah, I'm actually like midway between all my family. So my mom and dad live in Lubbock, Texas, which is Texas Tech area, just a couple hours south. And then I have a bunch of brothers and sisters who live in Oklahoma. So they're just right over in Tulsa and Sand Springs and stuff. But
Gotcha.
I do like to shoot guns. That's fun. I'm currently learning which bullets go with which gun.
Nice.
It's important knowledge.
I am hearing more and more women are getting into shooting.
Well, you know, since my husband was in the military.
I understand that. I get that part of it, but still I have friends whose wives are saying, let's go to the shooting range. I want to shoot the gun. I want to do, you know, it's just.
Have you shot a gun before?
I have, yes. I used to.
It's fun. It's exhilarating.
Yes. No, my dad we used to go every week. And growing up, I mean, it was only at 22, so it was small. Yeah. But my dad used to take us shooting every week. And, you know, we learned, you know, we had to go through the safety course and all that. And God, it was a lot of years ago, but I remember it quite well. And
I mean, you have to respect the gun. I always treat it like I would a car. You know, a car is basically a loaded bullet. So, or a loaded gun. So you gotta be careful with it. But the first time I went shooting, my husband took me, and it was a pumpkin shootout. And so they took these pumpkins and they filled them with tannerite, and they put them way far back. And my husband had brought the AR, which is like, I guess an assault rifle. I don't know. It's what they use in the military. Right. But it was the best because it had a little scope and you could see forever. And so I hit the target every time, and you hit that little pumpkin and it just explodes. It was just the most liberating thing. It's like, wow. So you think about whatever you're mad at, you know, like the circumstances, and you shoot that little pumpkin and you're like, I feel better.
There you go. Taking your frustrations out that way. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So we actually just we built our own ARs, which was an experience. Yeah, that was our date night. He's like, I'm going to buy us these AR kits and we're going to build some guns. I was like, cool, that sounds great.
You guys sound like a great couple. You guys sound like you have a lot of fun together. Like you're making.
We do, but we're complete opposites. He's very he will not talk unless spoken to kind of thing. He's more of a listener. He does not want to be the center of attention. He's perfectly fine living in the mountains by himself, and I'm like, let's go to the big city and meet all these people, you know. And
oh boy,
we're very opposite. But you know, if we were the same, one of us would be obsolete.
That's right. You know what? It's a tract. I'm just saying it works. My wife and I are completely the opposite. So I'm a snob and she's a neat freak, and I let things go, and she's like just very organized and just everything like that. So, you know,
that's the way it rolls. I think that's like that in every couple relationship. Most of them are opposite of each other. So I don't know too many people that are very much alike.
Right. No, it is. Tell us about the website. What can we find if we send our listeners and our viewers to your website, LindseyLaneOfficial.com? Hopefully I got that right on there.
Yeah.
So what's on your website? Can they get merchandise? Can they download your music or buy your music? Tell us.
Yes, it has the links to all the socials, all the music. There's a biography on there, and there's pictures, there's merchandise, there's the tour schedule, everywhere we're going to be, all your basics.
Do you do your own website, or did you have that?
I do my own website. I do my merch. I do my booking.
Gotta love being an independent.
Yeah,
you have total control.
Yeah. There's, you know, every blessing is also a curse. So.
Well, that is true. That is very true. Deb is very much a businesswoman, so that's like the business side of things. I mean, by handling your website and your bookings and you know, everything that goes with that. And like she said, being an independent, you can't beat that.
I'm kind of a control freak, which it helps me in a way. So, that has good things and bad things about it.
Yes. Every blessing's also a curse.
I know.
Exactly. Gosh. What do you drive? You drive a pickup, right?
Oh no, my husband drives a pickup. I drive a 4Runner.
Oh, okay. No, it's just the way you are, and you're talking everything. I love your attitude. I love your energy, and you're just so very outgoing. I can just picture you driving like a pickup that's been jacked up, that's been lifted. And the gun rack in the back, and just the music cranked, and say, "Here comes Lindsey." You know.
Look, you know what? I'm going to tell my husband you said that, because I make fun of his truck all the time. It's not lifted,
Okay.
but he deleted it, so it's super loud. And occasionally I'll hook the trailer up to his truck and pull it. And he always, it's the most annoying thing. Anytime we go under an overpass, he like rolls down the windows and hits the gas so he can hear how loud it is. And it's so annoying. And I hate it when other people do it in front of me and then smoke's going out the back. I'm like, why are you doing that? That's stupid. But I'll tell you what, one time I took it with the trailer and it was like 3:00 in the morning and I was coming back home and no one was out. And so I said, I'm going to try it. So I rolled up underneath that overpass and I rolled down the windows and I hit that gas. And honestly, it was great. It was so loud and the power underneath your foot, it was, I won't tell them, but it was great.
This. Now you've let the secret out of the bag.
Secret out. Yeah.
There'll
be a little talking to when you're done with the show here.
Yeah. So we've got the music out. You got Timber out. Just a great song, and you've got great people. You got a great team behind you promoting Timber, getting it out to radio.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah, they are, and I did just. Right now, the way we're doing this, we mentioned it earlier about the country radio seminar. Normally, right now, this week, we'd be sitting in Nashville, probably with a glass of wine or a beer in front of us, and just talking to people like you.
Yeah.
But man, we just miss that so much, the networking. But this is it's almost as good. Almost.
Yeah, it's a slightly nice alternative, but we'll get back there. It'll be fine.
Absolutely. If there's we always ask one person we always ask our guest. I'm sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought here because the dogs just ran by. I'm like, if you could sit and talk to one person right now, any artist alive, all right, any artist that's alive right now, if you could sit and talk to them and just pick their brain about music, who would that be?
I'm stuck between two people.
Okay.
They have to be alive right now.
Right now.
Okay. And then I'm going to go with Dolly Parton or Garth Brooks.
Bam.
Wow. Very good choices.
Go ahead, Deb. I know
we have a lot of young ladies that would love to sit and chat with Dolly Parton. And we had the privilege, right, at CRS a couple times, then we were able to kind of get up close and hear some great stories and performances with Garth. He's a great people person.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, I actually, he's one of my inspirations for live shows because he's so, like, not only is, well, obviously entertainer of the year, but it's really not because, it is because of his energy, but it's somehow how even in the midst of 60,000 people, he can make you feel like you're important and you're the one person in that whole room, but really there's 60,000 other people, and then he has that gift. So I'd like to know more about it.
Yep, he's one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet. And Dolly, that conversation would have to be just unbelievable. She's so awesome.
Yeah, she is. Have you ever seen the TV show Drunk History? Okay, you should look it up. It's pretty comical. These random people, they get drunk and then they're given a historical story that they have to explain while they're drinking. Okay. And it kind of bounces back to the drunk person telling the story, but they overdub their vocals onto actual actors and actresses who are acting out the whole scene. And so they did one with Dolly Parton and the Porter Wagner story. And so it has one person saying like, and then Dolly said this, and then it's the Dolly impersonator, and it's the drunk person talking, and she's like, "Oh, Porter." It's just so funny. You gotta watch it. But that was a really inspiring story. The "I Will Always Love You" one. So
is that Netflix, or where can we find that? Do you know? Or I'll find it. I want
to say it's on the History Channel.
History Channel.
But,
no,
but I think it's available on Netflix too, or Hulu.
Yeah, one of those. We got them all. So
we'll find it. Yeah, I know. We have them all now.
Yeah, they're pretty funny. You should look them up. They're funny.
I definitely will do that. Did you, during this whole pandemic thing, have you been binge watching anything?
Yes and no. I get this depressing feeling every time I finish like binge watching a show. It makes me sad, as if like, because I'll put myself in the story, and then once it's over, I'm like, what do I have to live for?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's nothing around. But we watched Yellowstone.
Yes. Good.
Yeah. And I'm not, usually when I watch stuff, I like comedic relief, because life is just, it's kind of depressing already. So I try to watch funny stuff. We did The Good Place. That was good.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty good. Yeah. There were some random ones here and there. I can't really remember.
Ozark or any of those when they were, you know.
My husband did, but then he said that I probably wouldn't like it because it was.
It's dark.
Kind of dramatic, right?
It is very dark. It is dark. At least we thought so. I know exactly what Deb said. You know, my wife and I watched it. We watched every episode.
You made it through the whole thing, huh?
Yep, made it through the whole thing. Can't wait for the next season. But yes, it is dark. But I guess to each their own. It's, you know.
Yep.
And also we've been watching Bridgerton, and that's getting a little hot. But it's interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not against the dark ones, but like I said, I'll put myself. That's why I can't watch horror movies, because I put myself in the situation, and then my brain lives it, and so I got to be careful about what I watch.
Yeah. No, we get that totally. You know, one thing my wife is watching, and it's Big Sky. It's Big Sky.
I haven't heard of that.
Am I right? Big Sky.
It is, something Sky. I can't.
I think it's on Tuesday nights, and she's just addicted. You don't even want.
On TV. It's on TV.
Yeah, I think it's on ABC. If I'm not mistaken, but it's crazy. So tonight we've been chatting with Lindsey Lane, and you can see her website's right there, Lindsey Lane Official, and it's just a great conversation. And this is what we do with the Skip Happens podcast. We find out a lot about the artist. We talk about their music. We talk about life. We talk about everything, as you've probably noticed by now. You know, sometimes we go the roundabout way to get, answers. So, and it works. And we just really want to thank you big time for joining us here tonight. Before I let you go, though, I did read that you started a podcast. What's the podcast about?
You know, it's about a little bit of everything. And actually, I didn't mean for it to kind of get controversial, but I guess it did. There's one episode I talk about Texas versus Nashville, because it's this huge thing. Like even on Texas country radio station here is like, no Nashville allowed. And I always thought that was ironic, because half of the top 20 people in Texas country recorded their stuff in Nashville, and the songwriters they use are in Nashville, and then half of them try to leave Texas country to go Nashville. And so I did a lot of research, and it is really ironic, because Texas country stems from outlaw country, which started by Willie Waylon, and they wanted out of Nashville. And so for now, it's like, oh, they're trying to get back into Nashville. I just thought that was curious. But so I talk about music. I look at the behind the scenes of different songs, and it's not all country. Sometimes I hit on different stuff. So it just depends what I want to talk about that week.
Now, Pat Greene, years ago.
Yeah.
He was a Nashville artist. Wave on Wave, of course, being the big hit that just when it left Texas country. Did I say Nashville? Texas country. But Pat Greene is just one of the big artists. I'm trying to think who else with Nashville or Texas country. I think I need a shot.
It's only Wednesday. It's not even like it's Friday.
I know.
Zoning out on us here.
That's me, though. That's me. It's just one of those nights. I don't know. Some great music comes out of Texas, and I love looking at the Texas chart. And, to see who's doing what. So
yeah, and on that episode, it was actually really interesting, because I pulled like the number one for that week from Texas country and the number one, I think, off the Music Row chart, and I played them back to back, and it was interesting because they honestly sounded the same. And so I was like, it's supposed to be like, pretty divided, and it was really interesting.
And you're saying that like the Texas radio station where you are is pretty much against Nashville country.
That's what they say. And even like you can submit a song and they'll be like, oh, that's too Nashville. And that's a lot of the Texas country stations. Yeah, they'll say it's too Nashville.
Okay, let me ask you, what makes it too Nashville?
I think they want a real drum kit. They don't want the trap beats. I think that's the number one thing they listen for, and the loops.
But not all of Nashville is like that.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe some of the new artists,
Yeah,
kind of leaning in that direction.
right.
But the traditional country, Nashville, even a lot of, not to go against what I just said, but a lot of today's artists as well want that older sound. They want the sound of the real drum kit. They,
Mhm.
we see that so often. That just amazes me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really. And they get all offended and they get all pissed off about it, right?
Yeah, they do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's impressive.
That's another whole show in itself. Where can somebody find that podcast you did?
It's only available on Spotify since I embed other people's music in it. And so if you're not like a Spotify premium user, you can only hear 30-second clips of the songs, but you'll get the idea. But if you are the premium user, then you'll hear the full version of the song. But
Gotcha.
Is it called Lindsey Lane Podcast?
Lindsey Lane Podcast, yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't figure something out for that. Not like Skip Happens. That's clever.
He had a little help, I will say.
Oh.
But he did make the final choice.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously my name's Skip Clark, but I did that when we started this, I don't know, a while ago now. I said, what are we going to call this? What can I call? Actually, I was starting it out as my own podcast, and then Deb and I kind of really turned it into this, which is awesome. So I did a contest on Facebook. I said, I need to name my podcast. Let's come up with some ideas for me. And then eventually somebody said Skip Happens. And the prize, I gave him like a $25 Dunkin' Donut gift card or something. That was the prize. So whoever, whatever one I used, you get the card. So it ended up being Skip Happens. So.
Well, I
thank you to that person.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's how it came about. So.
I like it.
But there's nothing wrong with using your own name as the title of your podcast. It's you.
Well, and this is what I spent like 4 weeks trying to come up with a name, and I said, if this is the one thing that's holding me back from getting something done, I'm just gonna not worry too much about it and keep going.
Yeah, you can always change it later.
Yeah.
Yep. So make sure you check that out. Look for Lindsey Lane, the podcast. I imagine if you Google it, it'll come up as well, or at least an idea where to go. But we want to thank you for joining us here tonight. We're going to log off here in a minute, but don't go away when we say goodbye. Just stay right there. But again, on behalf of Deb and I, thank you so much for joining us here on Skip Happens tonight. I know Deb, I always ask her to give her spiel about the Country Music Fan Club. Go.
Oh, yeah. Well, like us on Facebook, the official CMFC. We'll follow you, follow us back. We can get your music out there. There's a whole bunch of new fans out there waiting for some new music and new artists. So we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're revamping our website. So we'll wait on that one, but we're out there.
Will.
It is. And we hope to meet you someday soon too. Hopefully all this settles down. If you're in Nashville, who knows, we could be there. We could be there for, the ACM Awards, which are now going to be in Nashville and stuff like that. So you never know. So if you're in town, we'll definitely look you up, or you can look us up, and we'll go get a cocktail.
Oh, I love that.
It would be a lot of fun. And, it'd be great to say hello in person. So thank you for watching, everybody. Lindsey Lane, living in Texas. You can hear her music online. Listen to the local radio stations. Call them. Tell them you want to hear Timber by Lindsey Lane. Let's get it up the charts. Let's make it work. And let's continue to keep her smiling. So she's a great person. Again, thank you for joining us all the way from Texas. Stay warm. Don't shovel too much snow. If you need more, we can send some your way. But
No thanks.
I know. You've been awesome. Stay right there, and we'll talk to you in a minute without the mics on. So, all right.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for watching. Skip Happens. Subscribe.